Good morning.
I knew it.
Yeah,
Just stop. No, his position is way better than yours. I'm telling you, the way that you.
Hello everyone, we are here from Team Endeavour and here's our first interview with Zain sir.
Zain sir did his undergraduate degree in BBI from Zain College. He finished his ACCA in his first attempt and he's an ACCA member. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you. So what career opportunities have you explored after obtaining your ACCA degree?
So with ACCA, I had the flexibility to work across various fields. I did my articleship in statutory audit where I worked with a firm called Grant Thornton. I had a short stint with EY where I worked in business consulting. I had a brief stint with an edtech firm where I worked in a product role, which is basically non-corporate, more of a startup, a startup scene. And now I work with EY in their transaction diligence. So with ACCA, the opportunities are there. It's just about choosing where you want to be and what your interests are.
Since you were preparing for ACCA, what kind of skills did you see that really helped you in your job interview?
I think discipline matters. Ultimately, when you're a fresher and you have no job experience, right? And you even the interviewer understands that you have no experience. What he wants to see from you is your discipline, how focused are you, and how do you present yourself. That's extremely important because ultimately, your first recruiter knows he or she is hiring you and they're going to train you. So discipline, your ability to stay focused, and obviously your willingness to learn matters a lot.
Also, so can you share some insights that that really helped you to choose ACCA? How did you navigate this entire path, and you finally came to the decision that I want to do ACCA? Because nowadays we have a lot of options in the market, like your CFA or your CA. So how did you come down to the conclusion of ACCA?
So fairly simple, right? I looked at I wanted to do my chartered accountancy, and I looked at the options available. I had a 5-year plan sort of drawn out. I came across ACCA through a friend, understood the perils, understood what the pros and cons were, and I just felt it was a better option to look at because of the global accessibility, the applicability, and its growing prominence in India. So it was more of a decision I took, keeping in mind the fact that I could sort of look out globally in terms of opportunities as well. So yeah, pretty much I didn't see it as an alternative to CA. ACCA is really not an alternative, but it's sort of it is basically CA, but with a different framework.
What are the different strategies that you use in order to pursue a new job opportunity?
Build your LinkedIn, so 3 things: LinkedIn, your network, and your resume. So our LinkedIn, you need to have a very solid LinkedIn profile. When I say a solid LinkedIn profile, I've seen a lot of students who keep adding your LinkedIn. Your profile picture is not what it should be. Have a formal picture. That doesn't mean a wedding picture. It has to be go out, take some half an hour out, go to a professional shop and take a photo shoot, take a proper something for men, attire, for women, it can be different. Have a proper LinkedIn profile, have a good bio, be very clear about the internships that you've done, avoid making any political or any remarks or any interest because just do good business. Secondly, building a network is very important. So before I got into my first job, I had my current faculties reference me to my interviewers. Building a network is very important because referrals matter a lot. So I know a lot of people who keep asking me whether there are openings in EY or etc. etc. And number 3, it's also very good to have a resume. The most common mistake I see from resumes is putting a picture, get it off. For a fresher or for anyone up to 7 to 8 years experience, your resume has to be simply 1 page. That's it. Nothing else. Just 1 page, no matter what. My own resume after working for 5 years is 1 page. Because a resume ultimately gives you a basis to talk into your interview. So if you have everything in your resume, what will you end up talking to? That's pretty much it. So 3 things: LinkedIn, connections, resume.
You highlighted the fact that networking is really, really important. So what advice would you give to really begin effective communication? Like how do you kind of start off your networking journey? And since you even mentioned the faculty really helped you with your interview, so can you talk a little bit more on that?
So networking doesn't simply mean going out there and sending 100 LinkedIn requests to people you know. That's not what I mean by networking. It's gradually, as a fresher, as a college student, it's good to start with your faculty. It's good to start with your father's friends or your people in the business that you know, and gradually build a connection. Like, you don't send a connection to someone and just start talking to them. The response rate should be very less. But LinkedIn is a very good place to make connections. As in when you can talk with someone, I'm sure across a period of time with the research that you have, it involves speaking to people. Don't interview someone you know and just stop speaking to them. It's always a good idea to be in touch, because what's the harm? There will always be someone that can help you in the future. So networking is more about not sending or spamming people with connection requests, but it's more about sort of maintaining relations for a very long time.
So could you discuss any specific challenges or obstacles that you faced during your career and how you overcame them?
I think the kind of things I had to balance, I think time was always a challenge. I was just speaking to you before this started, right, about how balancing and managing your time is extremely important and critical, and that's something I've learned. Initially, the number of hours I had to put in, I struggled a lot with my social life. With things I wanted to do, such as play football, hit the gym. Ideally, what I learned across these 5 years, the last 7 years, have been how to balance my time and how to prioritize. So I like having a schedule. I know certain days I come to college and then I know exactly what I'm doing the day after, or what I'm doing after college, or what I'm doing in the evening, and I know I'm balancing things as per what my priority should be. So I would say a challenge was balancing time, but it eventually just comes to you if you're disciplined.
There are a lot of also misconceptions about ACCA. Like some people say that it's just an easier part of CA, and that's why a lot of people choose ACCA over CA. So are there any misconceptions other than this that you've heard, and how would you like to address them?
So ACCA, look, the reason it has higher pass percentages compared to CA is because of the flexibility of the program. CA, as everyone knows, you need to give 2 groups. And each group consists of n number of papers. You don't clear one, you don't clear the entire group. With ACCA, you can give 1, 2 or multiple papers at a time. So you have the flex. And if you give 2 papers, you clear one and you don't clear one. The one that you clear yet stands. So the flexibility is the reason why the pass percentages are higher. Not because it's easier. I have studied the same syllabus as my fellow peers, and I work with chartered accountants. So it's not like we're one over the other.
So could you share any resources or tools that you found helpful while making your career plan?
So just read. I would just suggest a lot of, when it comes to teaching, I find a lot of people that don't read. Start with the most basics. I read The Morning Brew, The Morning Context. I like reading in short because it's a notification away. Economic Times. But just to start off, just look at something like FinShort. It's meant for students like you. It's meant to break down complex news into articles, into simple examples. Read. That's the only resource I can tell you. If you don't start reading, you will not know what you want to do. I know you want to get into an X field, you want to get into a Y field, but how do you know to get there? Because you eventually did some research. You can enhance your research, you can do better by reading. Reading, speaking, talking.
Do you think that extracurriculars matter when it comes to like job opportunities, and do you think they see that? Because yes, we've heard about like colleges and universities looking at that aspect as well, but nobody really talks about like the job interview aspect. What can like one person expect when they're going over there, and how much does extracurriculars matter? Like not in terms of academics, something
in a job.
Yeah, in a job, like your hobby.
Yeah, very honestly, doesn't really hold. Having a job, having a hobby, for example, I love hobby going for runs. That really didn't come up in my interview. But the fact that people know I like to run, that is not essential for me to get a job, but that basically is a work-life balance for me. So I know on a stressful day I like to go out and run, maybe hit the gym, or maybe play football. It doesn't really, it's not, me telling my interview I play football and have a work-life balance won't get me the job. My technical abilities, my communication will. But having co-curriculars is extremely important for your own mental health and for your own work-life balance. You need to have something that is your stress buster.
So would you say like somebody who's qualified, maybe has the same qualification level, but a person has, you know, a better work-life balance and has done extracurriculars with the qualification, do you think they have an edge over the other?
It doesn't matter. You know what? The maximum it will do is tell the interviewer, okay, this guy knows, or this guy or this girl knows how to maintain or balance the time. Like if you can pursue a full-time course and also be successful in co-curricular, extracurricular, that basically means you're disciplined enough to like know how to balance time. That's the maximum impact you'll have. But if two chartered accountants are competing for a job and one of them plays football, that's not a good.
So how do you stay updated with industry trends? And also, how has that impacted your career making decisions?
Read, as simple as that. You have to be reading. It doesn't mean you sit and read. When I say read, it could either be books or it could be articles or newspaper. You don't have to sit down and dedicate time. I do it on the way to office. I do it in office. If a notification pops up, I just want to read. Something that's very relevant to my job, for example, say RBI comes up with a notification. I will want to go and read the notification because 9 out of 10 chances it's relevant to my job. So it's very important. For anyone who wants to be up to date, read. There's no shortcut. There is no movie or TV show that will teach you all of finance in one day. It's a gradual, slow process that comes with reading.
What advice would you give to current ACCA aspirants or recent like graduate students who are not sure about what they want to do post-grad?
Just be consistent. Be disciplined. You have to be disciplined. Same like for jobs. You have to dedicate some hours. Like you don't put one resume across 10 applications, 10 different job applications at the same time. You keep tweaking your resume to sort of match the job description, right? So the idea is you have to be consistent, be disciplined, and you have to be motivated. If you're pursuing ACCA, nothing else, just be consistent, give your papers on time, don't be demotivated. It's okay to fail a paper, absolutely fine, get out, pick your things up, go again. For recent grads, just look out, figure out what you want to do, more important, talk to people, network and decide your path, whether it's an MBA, an MSc, or just you simply want to work.
Also, did you ever miss out on any internship opportunities? And if so, then how big of an impact did that?
I didn't really miss out on internship opportunities. I started working in my second year, so I've been working since 2018, so that really didn't make a difference. I haven't missed out, no.
So what kind of an impact did it have?
Yeah, I started early, so it just taught me a lot of. I was in the corporate when I was 19, so as one of the youngest members of the team, it took me a lot of time to learn dressing etiquettes, how to speak, email etiquettes, general office politics. It takes time, right? And a lot of grads face this. I started early, I got a headwind, I got a head start. Not a headwind, sorry, I got a head start to it, so yeah.
And so last question would be, as you said, how important is your internships? Like how important does it play? Like you started early rounds, you said you have an edge, but a lot of people, if they start post grad, that there is a quite huge handful of amount that starts post grad. So, how do you feel like starting earlier as compared to them? What is the difference? Because you're pretty much learning the same thing, but at a different, like a later age. So, what would you say is the biggest advantage and disadvantage?
So, look, think of it this way, right? A lot of students don't know what they want to do in SY, FY and TY. I keep telling them, take up an internship so you get to learn. Say, I know someone who's confused between finance and marketing. Take up a marketing internship. See if that's what you want to do in the future. Say social media marketing or simply SEO kind of stuff, right? Or just take up a very simple reporting role in a finance company. Do everything. The advantage of starting early is you get to know what you want to do. And you, again, get that tailwind, start early. A disadvantage, I don't think there's any disadvantage of starting early. You're just getting that extra. So even if you don't like the internship, now you know you don't want to do that. That just crosses off an option of this, which is so much more better. So yeah, that's pretty much.
So thank you so much for your time, and we had a lot of fun during the interview. I hope you had too, and thank you. How did you manage your love life with your ACCA?
That's not being answered.
Yeah, we will.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
You're not putting effort, yeah?
Yeah, you're not putting effort.
No.
Put.
So, 20 marks.
Thank you.